Hi guys, my name's Adelaide and welcome to Adelaide Stitches. This is my YouTube channel where I talk about cross stitch. Today I believe it'd be day 11, is that right? Of my 14 days of designers series, and I have something very special planned for today. As you know, if you've been following this series, I have been going through all my whips by designer to kind of work out what my plans will be and really come up with a 7-day rotation that will let me get some good progress on the whips. So as part of this, and also because it's May and MERMAY, I thought it would be fun to spend a day on Bella Filipina. Now, I actually don't have any Bella Filipina whips, so this will be my very first one. And I thought, how fun would it be to start it with you and do a stitch with me? Which I've never done before with stitching in hand, so because that's how I stitch on the large accounts. So this is going to be a journey of discovery for all of us. But no, I thought it'd be really fun to go through the pattern, the beads. I know I leave them to the end, but just the materials that I need, the beautiful fabric, and then start some stitches with you. So let's begin with first my normal stitching update on what I stitched last night, and then we'll get to the really exciting stuff. So last night I worked on my It's a Mermaid's Life by Tiny Modernist. I'll put a picture of it up. Isn't that cute? And this is the project I'm working on every day for MERMAY that I would like to get finished. So my aim is to do 150 stitches a day, and last night I did 142. So that's okay because the other nights I've done a bit more. So it should even out at about 150. And look how good it looks. My mermaid is really coming to life. And this is a whip I've had languishing since the 31st of December 2022. So it's really exciting to see it get done and come together. I just love it. I love the colours. I think it's super cute. This is 32 count deep Seaglass linen I'm stitching it on with the cord for DMC, and it's 2/2. And sorry, that is my cat. Jet telling me something very important because I clearly should know what that means. So as well as that last night, I have started my 7-day rotation for the month. And so I decided that Saturday should be my Lola Crow Extraordinary Birds day because I really want to get some good progress on the SAL. So, sorry, it's quite big. I'm trying to position it on the board so you can see it all. I'm very excited because this is where I got up to. So, Extraordinary Birds is this year's SAL by Lola Crow. She has released the frame, and then the first, I guess, batch of birds, flock of birds, comes out mid-May. And she has said that that will be here in the center bottom. So I started at the top, so it was very important for me to try and get down. That's what I worked on last night, getting down to that bottom. So even if it was released today, and today is the 4th of May, Sunday the 4th of May, I would be able to start with her. So I'm really excited about that. I think especially because I'm in Australia and so we get it a day late, so I think I might have 2 more Saturdays to work on it anyway and hopefully get some more really good progress on the frame. But I'm excited that I got to that point. I put in 600 and... Sorry, looking for where I wrote it down. It's under my pile. 673 stitches, which I was pleased at, and that brings me to 1,895 out of 6,222, which is 30.46% of this first part. So really pleased with that. I love how it's looking. This is 28 count Lugana, hand dyed by me. And yeah, I'm really happy with the fabric choice. I know I asked everyone what I should do it on and had like 5 different ones, but thank you so much for your help. This was definitely the most popular picked one, and yeah, I'm so happy with it. So yeah, I'm very excited about that. All right, well, let's get to the exciting new start I have today. So Bella Filipina, this is the project I will be starting. Cordelia, oh sorry, isn't she beautiful? Now this actually was all instigated by my daughter, who at 6 is quite strong-willed. And her name is Cordelia, and as soon as she saw her, we were watching a floss tube and someone else was stitching her, and she found out her name was Cordelia, she's just like, oh, I have to have that. And I have been asked for months now, Mum, are you stitching my mermaid yet? Are you stitching my mermaid yet? When are you stitching my mermaid? And so I have gathered all the supplies, because I know everyone says that you can just start with, you know, fabric and threads and gather as you go, but I couldn't. The threads and the beads were also foreign to me because I've never done a project like this before. I was in a panic, like what if I start and then I can't get the right thing? No, I have to have everything to know that I can fully complete this project. So that's what I've done, and I could have started, I guess, in April, but not only was it super busy, I did think a mermaid, with my focus on mermaids, would be the perfect time. So here we are, ready to start Cordelia. The fabric I have to stitch her on is this, and this is the super beautiful, look at that, this is from Colour Cascades, and it's called Blue Ocean Floor. Isn't that lovely? It's quite a big piece. It's a 23 by 26 inch cut, but from what I calculated, that is what I need for her. She's going to come out quite big, but after watching quite a few floss tubes on it, a lot of people recommended the 28 count because of the beads and because of the size of the beads. So let's have a look at the beads that I ordered. This is like my special bag of all the goodies. And so what have we got? We've got beading needles, very important. I'm also trying for the first time this, which is a tacky bill. I've done some beading before on a frosted pumpkin stitchery piece and I really didn't like it. Everybody said get a tacky bill and it's going to change my life, so I'm excited about that. And can I open it? First step, here we go. It's like sticky on the inside and it's to put my beads in. So I'm excited about using that. And then the beads themselves, I was surprised when they came because there's so many different ones. I'm not going to go through them all, but it kind of goes all the way from tiny to medium size to, I guess you'd call them like jewels. My daughter calls them jewels. She likes to sit with all the beads and go through and look through them. Beautiful flowers. Oh, sorry, I'm not sure you can see that one. And even look at the emeralds. So there's 3 of those actually in there. Aren't they beautiful? So very excited about all of them. I've also got some beading thread. So we'll see how that goes. So I have heard, and I have used before just matching DMC. So I guess I'll decide as I go what I will use. And actually, oh, this is the big charm, the star. Isn't that beautiful? And I was surprised how big it was. So it's definitely going to be a feature. There's the picture. So that must be in her hair. Okay, see it better? So yeah, she's definitely going to be sizable. My daughter better love her because she's going to be on her wall. No, I'm sure I'm going to fall in love with her and go, no, you can't have her in her bedroom. She's too beautiful. She has to be where everyone can see her all the time. Okay, so what I might do is I might turn my camera around now and, oh, I better mark the center of my fabric and then turn my camera around and we might get started because I think I have everything I need. I've even had the pattern and obviously I can't show it to you. I guess I can show you the front page. I've had it blown up to like A3, they call this size here, just so I can see it easily because when I look, it came well, they were A4 sheets, so I guess what's that, half of that folded in half, it came in the pattern, and it did seem very tiny, all those symbols, and I thought I'm definitely going to get them mixed up. Let's make them big and mark them off. And to mark them off, I have a friction pen. So these were recommended because if you make a mistake, they're very easy to get rid of. You can even do it with a cool iron, because heat is what makes these disappear. So yeah, I'm excited to see how this goes. So the other thing I wanted to mention is the threads. So I haven't kitted up the threads on a floss ring or anything because I stitch with a DMC master set. Let's see if I can turn the camera and show you. There it is there. So I will just be taking the threads as I need it and then putting them back. I don't have any threads kitted with my projects unless they're specialty. So the ones I will keep with the projects are these. I couldn't get all the Krennics that were recommended, so I was very kindly recommended by Crafty Emily, a site that told me the treasure braids I could get instead, and apparently they're even easier to work with, so I'll let you know on that. And I got one Krennic. Here we are. That I could get. So I don't think I'll be up to the metallic threads today. I'm just hoping to get a start on it, but we will see how we go, won't we? I will see you. Well, not really, I guess, but you will be looking at my stitching in a minute. See you then. Okay guys, so I'm all set up. My fabric is on my lap. I have my needle minder. I realised I didn't have a mermaid needle minder, but this is my Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery one, which is nice and large, but also quite light. So I find it quite a nice, good, comfortable one to have when I stitch in hand. In the middle, I have my counting pin. These are actually from Ro's Crafty Corner. Ro and Kylie make them, and I just find them really handy for having and marking the middle of my fabric. They're really good because they have the really beautiful decorative end, so I can see it easily, but they also on the other side have, I hope you can see that, it's like a cover on the end so you can't prick yourself as well. So that is also always handy too. I have already threaded my first needle, so that is ready to go. That seems to be an eye symbol, and I am using 964. I have done some thread organization videos, and I can link one of them below, and I have put my DMC master set all on these floss drops that were 3D printed by my dad, which was very, very nice of him, and they are just so useful. They're nice and small, so I can fit about 8 colors in each drawer, but they have the big hole for the whole skein and the little hole for any ends of thread I need to tie on as well. So let's get stitching. I had a look at the pattern, and even though this is the center of the fabric, there's actually no stitching there. The hair starts 4 blocks down. So the first thing I guess I should do is a little bit of counting, just making sure this is centered under the camera. And let's have a look. 1, 2, 3, 4. So even though I have, I guess, on the pattern counted 4 squares, this is 28 count Lugana, so I'm doing 2 threads to make up each square, and that is why every 2 threads I'm counting as 1 to go down. Now I will have to go down 1 more square to start my cross, so another 2 threads. And there we are. That should be where my first stitch is. I apologize for the fabric being so scrunched up. Because I stitch in hand, I guess it is a lot more scrunched up than if you have it in the Q-snap. I'm just going to start with the loop start. So to do that, I pull up and I go down. Yep, that's right, on the top right. So if you can see the square there, is the opposite to what I think. Here we go. If you see the square there, so bottom left is where I'm starting, and then top right is where it is. The top of the square is. So let's do a loop start. I'll just put that in, turn my fabric around. Here we go. And grab that loop, pop that through. And there we go, that's nice and anchored. And I know I've got lots of comments before about doing a loop start from the top. And I find when I stitch in a Q snap, like on a full coverage, I do my loop start from the top. But when I stitch in hand, I always do it from the back, and I can't seem to change that. So that just must be how I stitch. Anyway, let's finish that cross. And I have started my first Bella Filipina, which, how exciting is that? Move that out of the way. So once I've done a few stitches, I'll take my counting pin out, but that is just handy for me to know where the center of my fabric is. Actually, maybe I'll take it out now. There we go. That is very handy. I use that all the time. Thank you, Rowan Kylie. Okay, so here we are at my first stitch. Okay, so now having a look at the pattern, because this is hair I'm doing, I have 2 more in this row. And you can see my 2 threads on the needle. Ooh, hopefully you can. And let's pull that through. Here we go. So we'll just finish that, and I've got my first row. And I guess the tricky thing with this will be making sure that I don't turn my fabric the wrong way. So hopefully I can stitch enough that I know which way it is going, because that is a big fear of mine. And I have also checked several times. I'll just double check now to make sure that I am stitching this landscape. So yeah, my long bit of fabric is going across, and my short bit of fabric is going up and down. Because that is another fear too, that I will do it along. I kept checking and looking and going, yes. Oh, here we go. Yeah, that is the direction it seems to take, and is the way the pattern is written, I guess, because it is 3 across and 2 down. Okay, so let's keep stitching. All right, I've done my 3, and then we're going to go up for the next one. And I have to say 28 count Lugana, which is what this is definitely one of my favorite materials to stitch on. It's easy to see, and I feel like it goes usually quite fast, although it is harder to stitch on camera than you think. But oh well, I guess it's all getting used to it, isn't it? So that was it for that. So I'm up to my next row, and up we go. Maybe I should have started with a bit more block stitching, like in the tail, but at the same time, for a design like this, I would always start in the middle. So I guess that is more true to what I do. So I think it's good to stick with that as well. Okay, so 4 in that. And as you see, once you get in a rhythm, it is quite quick stitching in hand. I do like that kind of rarely you turn over to the back of the work. Mostly you're always on the front. I mean, I have to put my hand underneath when I start a new row, but usually I'm not flipping the work, so to speak, which is nice. And isn't this fabric gorgeous? I hope you can see the sparkle in the camera. I had a few fabrics to choose from, but my daughter, she's like, Mum, mermaids have sparkly fabric. Like, it was just so obvious. I should have known that. right from the outset. So this was the one sparkly blue fabric I'd ordered. So this is what it was, but it is a really, really beautiful fabric. So looking at my chart, oh, I've only got one more stitch of this, and actually it's down here, so I should have done it at the beginning, but I didn't realize that. I thought it went on a bit before it changed color, but it doesn't. So what I'm gonna do, that probably is a bit long for me just to move over and stitch there. If it was full coverage, I'd probably do it, but it's not, and I don't want my fabric to get all bunchy. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to flip over my work after saying I don't. Here we are. I am just going to thread and carry the thread through the back. There we go. And just make sure it's not too tight. Make sure it's lying nice and smooth. And then turn it back over. Here we are, and put my stitch. Here we got that last one in. So that seems to be all there is of that colour for that bit of hair. So I'm going to end that thread now. Usually just turn it over again. Okay, and run it through. And get my scissors to cut it off. And there we go. I have done my first few stitches on my Bella Filipina. See if I can lay it out so you can see it. Isn't that exciting? Hopefully you can see them. Okay, so I am just going to get my pen and mark off my chart. I can't show that to you, I'm sorry, but just so I know I have stitched them. And I'm going to get the next colour now, and that is a Y symbol. That is 958. And I did pull a few colours of the hair out at the beginning because I thought that would make it easier. Just pull a strand from that. That's why I like floss drops. They really are nice and easy. And then we will thread it. All right, just one sec. I'm just going to lick it off camera. That is, well, it's how my granny taught me actually. Just lick your threads and put it through. And that is the way without a needle minder I've found it works best for me, as you can see. I have though also, and I should get it out. What did I do? I bought a new needle threader for it. So I'll have to find that and get that out as well. But anyway, got the needle threaded. That's the important thing. Let's have a look what I've stitched so far. And let's start the next colour. So that actually starts a little bit below. Which is here. So same row as that one, and it's 3 squares up. So 1, 2, yep, I'm in the right one, 3. Let's do our loop start. Great. That's all secured. And bring it up. Here we go, and start this row. So I have 3 in this row at the moment, and usually I stitch, I think it's called the Danish method, where you do one leg going left to right, and then another leg when you go right to left. I don't know, I guess I just like it. I don't know if it's faster or not, but it works for me. If If it calls for it, I do sometimes do full cross right to left, but it depends on the pattern, because you can do that quite fast stitching in hand as well. But I know a lot of people do all their cross stitch in hoops and frames, but my granny always did her cross stitch in hand. I remember her sitting there and whizzing through every summer. She'd pick a new piece of cross stitch and get it done. I mean, mainly she did embroidery, but yeah, every summer she'd do a cross stitch and she'd whiz through it in hand. So I guess that is what I am remembering. And I think gave me the confidence to start in hand. Although I haven't mastered it if I'm stitching over one. I find I always lose my thread, and then I do go to usually a Q-snap. Though also I have found sometimes for dark fabrics, when I did the Mandalorian earlier in the year for my husband, I finished that, and I did have to put that into a Q-snap to finish it so I could see it. Though also I did end up finishing it. It was a year old, the piece, in summer. And I wondered if that is why I finished it, because the light was so much better then. At night in winter it's just so dark. But anyway, oh well, it's all learning and enjoying and finding out what you like and how you like to stitch best. And if you do a lot of stitching, I think having a few different positions is good as well. Because you don't want to get RSI. I used to knit an awful lot for both pleasure and work, and yeah, I got really bad RSI in my shoulder. So I'm always very mindful of that. If you can avoid any discomfort, do. And change positions often and take breaks and all that good stuff. I'm sure you know. I was worried that these threads would blend in too much, but I think it looks really good. In real life it does. I'm quite excited about how it's looking. All right. So I was just checking kind of where I am on the chart. I am about right, which is good. It's funny, I've felt so intimidated about starting this, I think because it has so many different pieces. And I was just worried. Also, I've never done a fancy lady. They seem quite big. They look so beautiful at the end, but they have a lot of different stages. But I'm realizing I think you just got to start, and it's just one cross at a time. And hopefully you don't get knots in your thread like I just have. Oh, is it coming out? Oh, there we go. It came out. Good. Okay, I think I'm nearly at the end of this colour too. So a lot of different colours, a lot of colour changes in the hair. But I guess that's what gives it that beautiful three-dimensional look and makes them look so beautiful at the end. Okay, so that is that colour for that bit of the hair. Isn't it lovely? Let's end that thread. I'll turn it back over and run it through. And actually that other bit of thread I put through last time has been covered by that colour as well, so it's extra secure. I guess that'll keep happening as I add to it. Alright, I am just going to mark that next colour off on my chart so I don't accidentally pick it up and restitch it or anything. And I am up to 3812 now, which is a darker colour. Isn't it pretty? I'm really enjoying these tealy green colours. They're so beautiful. That's probably what drew her to my daughter and me. The hair, it's just, isn't it gorgeous? That tealy green hair. I was a bit worried it would blend into the fabric, but I think it's so dark, the value contrast will mean that it won't, and that pink tail is going to look stunning on this fabric. I'm very excited about it. Here we are. Thread the needle and start the next colour. Okay, so I'm actually going to start this at the end of my stitching and work back that way because it seems to go on up further. And actually that'll give me a chance to show you, oh, here we go, I'll center it. Is it the English method of stitching where you do one cross at a time? So I'll just anchor it with a loop start first. Turn it over. Pop it through. And as you see, I don't roll it or anything. I just scrunch up the fabric in my hand. I mean, that's another reason why I love Lugana. Any creases come out instantly with an iron. Well, if I ever iron, I have to get my iron and ironing board out. And with kids and pets, often it's just way too hard. It's definitely something I can only do when I'm here alone, which is very, very rare. And is solely kept for when I am FFOing and have to get the creases out. But yes, Lugana is very quick, very easy. Another reason why I love stitching on it. I think, so I got Lugana 28 count. Maybe I mean even weave because you can get even weave in different counts. But Zweigart Lugana is what they call their 28 count, I think. And I think their 32 count is called Murano. But anyway, I do find I have the tendency to call all even weaves Lugana, so I probably should fix that. Here we go. Oh, look at that darker. So I've done a light, a medium, and now I'm doing a darker green. And I feel like we're going to see, well, this strand of hair anyway, come to life as we go and stand out. I may become a mermaid addict after this. There are a lot of really beautiful Bella Filipina mermaids I have seen, but because this did take quite a bit to get kitted up, I would like to say that I'll only be doing one at a time. We will see if that is true. So I am doing a full square at a time because I've been going right to left. Here we are. So we will see it more obviously now because I have 3 to do in a row. So I go bottom left to top right, and then you just bring it through, and then you go into that top left, and then you start the next square at its bottom left. And that's just a nice quick way of stitching. You don't have to put either hand to the back of the fabric, which makes it quicker again. And I guess you're only doing one motion. Instead, if you're doing the stab method, you'd be doing 2 motions. And I've heard many people say they worry about tension, but I don't know, if you don't pull super tight, I think it's okay, and usually it irons out in the end anyway, any tension issues. And you don't carry your threads too far. That's another thing as well. Well, I've got 6 to do in this row. I think it's my longest row yet. Okay, this will be my second new mermaid start for May. I have 3 mermaid projects for May. So I have it's a Mermaid's Life by Tiny Modernist. Got that a bit mixed up, sorry. And that is being stitched on every day in May, 150 stitches, because it's such a cute piece. It's time I got it done. I'd love to have it on our wall, especially in my kids' room. It's just going to look really sweet. And I'm really enjoying it. I don't know, considering it's from December 2022, I don't know why I didn't get a move on it earlier. I guess having like a designated theme in May is good. It pushes me on. And if you watched my last proper floss tube, I think it was 21, you'll know that my son was suggesting Space September. Because it's only fair if I do MERMAY for my daughter that I do Space September for him and my youngest son as well. So I thought, at first I was a bit shocked. I'm like, oh, I'm not sure I could stitch space for a whole month. But I thought if I do it like Mermaid May with just a few pieces, like one I stitch every day and then a few other focused pieces, I think I could do it. I do have a full coverage called Aurora Cottage, which has the Northern Lights. So for me, yep, that's space. That's definitely one. As well as he loves the climbing goat designs. We have the... Sorry, that's the end of that thread. So I'll just end it. I have the Hubble telescope pattern. He loves the James Webb one too, but I said one at a time. So yes, I have that one. Maybe that could be an everyday stitch. And then he's really getting into Star Wars at the moment. And it's funny because today is May the 4th. So it's Star Wars Day, isn't it? Really, I should be starting one today. But I haven't mentioned that to him because I really wanted to get a start on this mermaid. So look at, hopefully, yeah, it's in thing. Look at that darker green. Isn't it pretty? Really happy with that. So I'll just mark my stitches off for that. And I think we have the darkest green to do next. So this is 3808. And hopefully I've had everything in the camera view. I'm so sorry if I haven't. I've really tried. I haven't done a stitch of me like this before. I think maybe it is easier if you have a Q-snap, because then you have it all in a frame and you're always stitching in the same spot rather than picking it up and kind of trying to work it out each time. Here we are. But this is a project I would stitch in hand, so I kind of wanted to keep it true to what I would do. And I always find it interesting how other people stitch as well. I guess, I don't know. Well, I'm a sticky beak.
So I thought, yeah, let's just have a go and see, and you can let me know what you think. And I do have the light on, but the sun just went behind a cloud if it got a little bit darker then. So this is darker again. I think it's really going to outline the hair, which will be beautiful. There we go, I've done a few more stitches. Let's have a look. There we are. Yeah, really pretty. Really loving this. And it's nice to stitch too. And I don't usually work with paper patterns. Usually I'm a bit of a PDF girl, and I try and use Pattern Keeper. If I can't use Pattern Keeper, I've actually just over a week ago got Markup, and which is the Apple app. It's a subscription one. Each year you resubscribe to it, I think, and I'm trying that. So I have been a bit spoilt, but because I've got this pattern blown up really nice and big, and I'm marking it off in that bright orange, I am hoping that I find this okay. I've got the so the key, oh, it's got it a bit folded, so it's very long, this key, printed out and next to me, so I can see what I'm doing and which colour I need where. So we will see. This is just, it's not even the bulk of her hair, it's just one strand of her hair, so she is going to end up quite big. But oh well. You'll see her from a distance. It's not a bad thing. I think he's just off camera, you can't see him. I've got my black cat here. He's sitting there staring at me. Maybe he's hungry, he wants something. Hopefully he doesn't decide. Oh, he is. He's going to decide that my paper pattern is the perfect bed. Hello, pest. You're going to come. Here he is. You got an ear? Yeah, maybe don't lie on that. You're a monster. Yeah, sorry, all the beads, the threads in the bags, he just thinks, oh, I'll just lie on that. Does your cat too ever lie on the most uncomfortable things? Sorry, just moved that off camera. I don't know if you can hear him. He's purring very, very loudly right now. He's obviously very pleased with himself. He says, yes, this is exactly where you want me. And I've just realized I can't see my pattern now because he's on it. Silly kitty. All right, where was I up to? Oh, okay. Yep. I got it now. I've put my, here we go, hopefully I'm back. I've put my pattern in on him now, so hopefully he can hold it for me a bit. I have a retreat I'm going to next month, the Stitching with the Mountains one, and that is in the last, well, it's the last weekend of June. I think it's the 27th to the 29th of June. So I was kind of thinking in my head it would be nice to get some progress and take this. Now I'm wondering, is there too many color changes? Would I get a bit frustrated? Oh, I think I've got my, I have to go back. Got my second strand stuck in there. Try and get it out. Because that's the thing with a retreat. You've got to be able to talk and pay attention and stitch and not make too many mistakes. So maybe I should just try and take fill-in projects so I don't make too many mistakes. There we go, got it back. Though sometimes I find that maybe it's just me, but when you're, especially at the beginning, when you're talking and meeting new people, and it's lovely and exciting, but I can't even thread a needle. I don't know, maybe I'm too excited. But it's always fun, and you always meet other people who love cross stitch. So I am excited about that, and I'm excited to see some old friends. I'll be seeing Ro from Ro's Crafty Corner. She is flying all the way down from Queensland to the Stitching with the Mountains retreat. So that is just amazing. I admire her dedication. One time I would love to go up to the Queensland retreat, but hey, with the kids, that's not happening at the moment, but that's okay. I am super lucky well, actually the last 2 years I've been to one retreat a year. So the one in June will be my retreat for this year, which I am just so lucky to get to. And I'm very lucky that I have a retreat close to me. So I won't stay at this retreat because I already live in the Blue Mountains. I will come home each night, and yeah, it's kind of hard to believe. If you know Australia, you know how big it is. It's such a vast place. So it's like, wow, there is a retreat. I can actually get to driving distance from my house. So that is pretty amazing too. Okay, 2 more stitches, and I think I'm coming to the end of this thread and the end of this dark color section in the hair. So then we will see how it looks. Here we go. I'm just going to finish up this thread. And then we'll have a look at my stitching. Okay, so let's see if I can get this under the camera. That's my, here we are. So if, look at that, I have started my first Bella Filipina. I have the first section of hair. Look how beautiful it is. I think it shows up really well. I'm really excited. Thank you so much for helping me start my first Bella Filipina. I'm gonna leave it here because I'm gonna have to go get lunch soon, and probably move my kitty off all my stitching stuff. He's trying to balance precariously on it, but that is super duper exciting. So this is officially now my first Bella Filipina whip. So that is quite exciting to use, to add a new designer to my whips. And yeah, I guess I'll be back tomorrow. I think I'm doing hands-on design, and Oh, Teresa Kogut tomorrow. So I will be back tomorrow to share my project with that. And I'm definitely going to stitch more on this tonight. So I'll also show you where I get to. But yeah, thank you so much everyone for the comment, the like, subscribes. Let me know what you think of a stitch with me. I find how other people stitch interesting. But yeah, let me know how the camera went and how you felt. All right. Well, have a fantastic night. Happy stitching. Take care. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. See if my puss wants to say bye too. Gosh, you're moving me. Here he is. Bye. You going to look up? A little look. Bye.